episode number 17, The Widows of Ninth Age. This is what happens when you don't do the intro. So it's finally here. It's the episode you've all been waiting for. We've had questions from across the globe. It is the Widows of Ninth Age episode. I'm joined tonight by the lovely Laura. Say hi, Laura.
Hello.
And the jovial Jordan.
Hi. And a wave.
Radio. And as always, I'm joined by the Rocky to my Bullwinkle. It's Paul.
What's going on, guys? Everyone's good. Everyone's looking forward to some female insights tonight.
That voice.
This is my radio voice.
Smooth, like chocolate.
This is already interesting.
This is going to be 2 hours of discovery.
So as you can hear, the women are real. They're not under duress. They're here by their own volition.
Tommy.
I don't know you.
I paid you for fucking 2 hours. You're going to sit there and you're going to answer my questions, alright?
Okay.
So Paul, what are we going to be chatting about tonight?
So, as you say, a lot of people have been asking us to do this. We've been talking about doing it for a while. The idea behind the episode is really to get a kind of female perspective on the game, as most of our listeners will be painfully aware. It's a bit of a sausage fest out there. Not many women playing the game, so we thought we'd get a bit of an insight from the ladies to see what they think. And we'll also talk a little bit about the kind of partner's perspective, what it's like living with someone that's obsessed with the game. And then to wrap up, do some kind of fun questions.
I've got a dirty look.
For the first step to getting help is admitting you've got problems.
I don't have a problem.
And we'll probably progressively be getting more drunk as the episode goes on.
A happy accident. Hey, a little Bob Ross reference, there you go.
Happy little accident.
Happy little accidents. Alrighty. So, we've got a number of topics which we'll be covering over the course of the episode. And the first one is just general thoughts about wargaming and the Ninth Age. So our first question is from none other than Casimir the Swede. And his question is, what was your reaction the first time your partner revealed their plastic passion? So Laura, how about you start us off with that one?
Well, my first thought was, people really do that? Honestly. Do you know, have you seen Chitty Chitty Bang Bang?
For fuck's sake.
Have you seen it?
I've seen it a long time ago.
So, you know how the granddad in it, he plays with armies?
Does
Watch
he
the
actually?
movie. That's what I thought he was talking about when he first told me about
Okay.
it.
What's interesting about Laura's situation is, when we started seeing each other, I wasn't playing the game.
Yeah.
That's the same
So-
as us.
Yeah.
This was something that I approached Laura with and said, I'm thinking about, getting into this. I guess part of that is just the kind of financial implications which come with playing the game.
That's so considerate of you, Paul.
So we'll touch on that later. We've got a question about that. But I guess maybe it was slightly different in your case, because it wasn't like I had to kind of gently introduce you to my addiction. It was just kind of like I started playing the game while we were seeing each other. So you've kind of seen the addiction progress from day one.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that's better or worse.
I don't know. I guess maybe a bit better, because I've kind of been introduced to it as you've kind of started out. But, I mean, you'll know that I've kind of tried to get into it myself.
You've given it a go.
I've given it, yeah.
See,
Yeah, the
Laura
first
gave
time.
it a go.
I found it a really new
Plenty
thing.
of things ago. Enough.
Oh wow, that will make the red band.
Oh my goodness. That sounded Oh, sorry.
It's going to be a long night.
The first fucking question.
I just choked on gin. Oh fuck. Oh right, we're professionals. It's fine. So maybe we should actually, before we get Jordan's take on that. So how long have you guys been seeing each other? Because I think this is important for the conversations that follow.
Oh, right, okay. So we've been seeing each other for 6.5, going on 7?
Nearly 7 years.
Nearly 7 years.
And you guys are obviously engaged. You're getting married soon.
Yeah. So I've locked her in.
There's no escape now.
No backseats.
And he's already been told he's not allowed to have any games at the wedding.
That's what you
No
think.
gaming table. No
Genuinely,
gaming table allowed.
genuinely asked that question. Shot down.
So none of you are coming to the wedding can bring armies with you. Just heads up.
That's awkward because I'm already packed.
I'll put a stop to this, Laura. Don't worry, I've got your back.
Thank you.
Jordan, how long have we been seeing each other?
We have been seeing each other for 9 years, and we are not engaged.
Oh, Andrew.
Okay, moving swiftly on. So, Jordan, what was your reaction the first time I heard from my plastic fashion?
Don't really think I had much of a reaction because I know your dad had always been a big fan and he'd always played kind of war game stuff, so I don't think I had any sort of preconceived ideas. I just knew it was something he liked to do, and when you mentioned you were going to be taking up the hobby, I thought, oh, that's nice, that'll be something enjoyable. Little did I know.
The black hole.
Yeah. No, I think I was just excited to paint things.
You were super excited.
Yeah, I was at the time.
Yeah. We'll come back to that because there's a question later on about have you
Are
ever
you still
done
excited
another-
about painting?
No, I'm not.
See, you like
Yeah,
painting though.
I didn't
Yeah.
You paint canvas and things like that.
Uh-huh.
So. Yeah, we'll come back to that because that's a funny story. So, Laura, you mentioned that you've actually tried to get into the game. You've done a little bit of painting and you've played a couple of games with Paul.
Yeah.
How have you found that?
The painting at first I thought would be quite relaxing and enjoyable. It wasn't. It was initially, but when you're painting the same thing over and over again, and I'm not a very
Sister,
artistic person, so I couldn't bring any kind of flair to it. That's not the sort of person that I am, so I really suffered with that one.
You played a couple of games. So
Yeah, and I'm a very competitive person, but I'm also very impatient. So if I do something, I want to be able to do it like straight off the bat. So I think that was one of the major issues for me, was the fact that I couldn't win and I couldn't from straight off. And aside from the fact that it's like a 3-hour long game.
I've got time for that.
Right? Again, with the patience. So,
I should reveal that Paul was very concerned after he played you because he thought he'd just turn up, smash face, but from his account he was sweating bullets at a couple of stages.
Oh, I did, man. Shit was tight in a couple of those turns. I was like, just because I only own the one army, so I basically just had enough models to play to complete 4,500 point lists. And I thought, right, I'll just kind of give a lot of that stuff. I'll take that stuff. And at points I was sitting thinking, why the fuck did I give her that? That's really good.
I just wanted the dragon.
Yeah, you had a dragon. It was tighter than it should have been. In a way, it's been bad because
I know you've put her off.
I've kind of put you off in a way. Although I think if I had won,
Such an asshole, Paul.
she would have been less likely to play the second game.
Yeah, definitely. Because
that's
then I would
really
have got what I wanted.
That's
so
been your only
I wouldn't have
motivation,
played
right?
again.
Yeah, okay.
It's
Was
just to
beating
beat
you.
them. Yeah. So really, it's a good thing.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay. So, Jay,
Mhm.
have you ever been tempted to play the game?
No.
No hesitation at all whatsoever.
You were tempted to paint, though.
I was definitely tempted to paint, and I tried the painting, and I love painting.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it wasn't very mindful. I found myself getting frustrated at trying to...
Yeah,
It's tight.
I bought a box of, it was like Warlord Games 30 Years War infantry,
Right.
because I just bought them because I wanted to paint them. So I was sitting painting them, and Jay was like, oh, I really want to paint, I really wanted... I was like, okay, cool, so here's a figure. And she, like, 4 hours later, she's still painting this one figure.
Cross-eyed, completely
Yeah.
cross-eyed.
Oh,
But
Eyes are hard though.
Eyes are hard.
I
bet it was a damn good looking figure after then.
It was nice.
It was. You should have seen it. I'm a good painter.
Yeah, a good painter. You just don't have it's not quite speed painting yet.
No. But no interest in playing it. But we had started playing chess, and I
Yeah.
believe you called it a more advanced level of chess.
That's normally how I pitch it to people.
Yeah.
Like your mum and Graham and whatever. When they ask what it is, I kind of just say, well, it's just like a kind of more advanced version of chess. I just find that's the easiest way to explain to people.
That also sounds like way better than how most people would try and like describe the game to people that don't play. I think
Yeah.
that makes it sound better than it actually is.
It does. Yeah. I know. I've tried to explain it to a few people if I'm saying, oh, where's Andrew this weekend? Oh, he's away gaming. And I know my grandparents have said, does he wear a costume?
God, I wish I wore a
Yeah, he
costume.
does, Gran.
Yeah, your grandpa came up to you when I got back from ETC, and he was like, "Oh, how was Zagreb?" And I was like, "Oh, it was great." He was like, "Well done, Tank Commander," and walked away.
He told me all the time.
Oh.
We've got a kind of question that touches on that later, so maybe we shouldn't spend too much time on
Okay,
it.
cool. So the next one in this section is just about what you guys know about the 9th age as a game. So Jay, if I was to say, what is the 9th age? What would you say?
Some stupid thing that takes up all of your time. No. I don't know. Would I class it as, is it the gaming community as a whole, or is that the specific, game you play? You play 9th age, but you don't play 9th age because there's... Yeah.
This is like watching someone at a conference that's been asked a hard question.
A really difficult question. So that's a really interesting question.
Let me answer it by not answering it at all.
By talking around the subject and redirecting you. I don't know. It's an era of the game? No, that's a shite answer. I know what
you were close. Yeah, you were close.
So is it the overall thing, and then within that there's little subgroups of different games you can play?
Kind of.
So you play Empire stuff.
Oh.
Empire of something.
Of stuff, apparently.
Of
Amazing.
something.
It does begin with an S.
It does begin with an S, and it sounds like Sullust, but Sullust is the land in Star Wars, and I know it's not that. Planet, not Sullust. Sullust something.
I'm so impressed that you got that though. That's
and you
good.
also play something else with, I don't know if it was, is it vampire chicken things? No.
Vampire chicken things.
Did you have chickens?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, there is griffins. They're in the Empire one.
Oh, okay. You didn't have chickens.
I call them chickens.
See?
Yeah, because it's a big bird and the chickens.
Right, so 9th age is I don't know.
Right. Okay. So that's your kind of shot in the dark there. It was good.
It was good.
Laura,
Okay.
do you want to chip in there?
Just gonna steal my
9th
answers.
age? What is 9th age? God, I don't know.
I feel like we're asking them a trick question here. It's not
I
a
know.
trick question.
Yeah.
This is one of the easier questions as well. So fucking buckle in.
No.
Well, I know that you get there's the whole Warhammer situation, and 9th age is different, but I don't know anything beyond that.
Okay.
That's alright.
That's
9th age is
alright,
different from Warhammer. I'll take that.
But I will say, and I'm probably going to offend everybody here, if people ask me what Paul does in terms of his gaming, I say
Warhammer.
Warhammer, because everybody's heard of Warhammer because they've seen the shop for Warhammer.
Okay.
I also say that.
Do you?
Yeah.
You say Warhammer?
But I know
A
it's
combination of those
technically.
Okay.
So you're actually in the situation where you're dumbing it down for people that are actually asking you the question.
Well, I
That's kinda
don't
good.
understand that to be the case, but yeah.
Well, I'm taking it that's what you're doing, so
Okay.
that's cool.
So kudos.
Yeah.
So you were pretty close, Jay. So I would say that you were kind of talking about wargaming in general, which is the big all-encompassing, and 9th age is a game system within that. So 9th age is a set of rules.
Excellent.
Yeah, you were pretty close. So we play a game called 9th age, which has got a rule set.
Is there 10th age and 8th age? No, I'm just kidding.
And within that you get the army books, which you were referring to. So you're pretty close. Get girlfriend points for that. If this was a competition, you both get a girlfriend point.
Yes.
It's not though. So
It's
don't
not,
get-
so just summary.
Laura, we get to cash these. We get to cash these in later.
Oh god, that's going to come back to bite me. Okay, Paul, do you want to take the next category?
Yeah, so kind of moving on from that, we're going to be talking about what it's like for you guys living with a 9th age addict. I think it's pretty safe to say that me and Andrew are addicts at this point.
Yep.
In case you that.
Definitely.
No doubt there.
So the first question we've got is from Gareth Willis, and he has a question. Has living with someone with a passion for miniatures changed any preconceptions you may have had of wargamers? So before, did you think of wargamers as really silly, wee people, and now living with us cool guys, you're like, oh, these guys are really cool. Actually, wargaming's that's for me. Is that kind of what you're thinking? Basically, I'm taking that as a yes. Moving on.
The only preconception I had of wargamers, and I'm about to offend everybody here.
Go for it, Laura. This is the big
You're going
bugs.
to call us all Chads?
No, but I genuinely thought it was a thing that only older men did.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Okay,
That's
that's
interesting.
interesting. Yeah.
So understanding now that obviously that's not a thing.
Why was that?
Hello, Chai Chai Bang Bang.
Okay. Back to Bang Bang.
I thought it was all these like army
Oh,
warrior
okay.
things. I didn't know there was anything other.
So more historical type, kind of
Yes.
maybe older
Got
men
that.
that had maybe been in the army.
Yes.
Right. Okay, that's fair enough. So now that you live with me, and I'm obviously a really cool dude.
I know that's not the case. Whatever.
If you think of someone that is into wargaming now, like what would you think about?
Well,
How
I
would
know
your-
what it involves now, so there's that.
Right. Okay.
And I know.
But you no longer
I
associate
don't
it
have
just with that
No,
demographic.
yeah, no.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Jordan, what about you?
So I think, again, I need to be careful because I'm going to offend people with my stereotypes and my preconceptions. But I would imagine a war gamer would be,
I'm ready.
this is
Just
awful.
go for it, Jay. Shoot.
I'm being horrible.
Put me
but,
out. I'm like a lame horse. Just shoot me,
Have
Jay.
another
Single-
drink of gin.
A single man in mid-20s, 30s, 40s who still lives with his mum, who is like introverted and plays war games and fantasy stuff, right? I'm sorry. I will apologise. That's awful, isn't it? I'm a
Well,
horrible person. And
It's not far
then,
wrong, really.
and then when you started playing it, I'd be like, oh, it's
oh,
not,
those,
it's not that bad, really. And he's quite normal. Yeah, so now I feel like I project
So we
it
need
onto
to
people when
understand.
we
Okay.
discuss it. But he's
But he's
quite
normal.
A,
He's
it's
normal.
quite a
He doesn't
cool
wear
game.
nappies.
Yeah.
I think that's probably fair, though. I think wargaming gets a bit of a bad rep for
It does.
being,
I have to say it does. And
like,
it's changed my view
okay,
a little.
which is interesting. And Felix has sent in a question which we'll talk about later on, which I think touches on that.
Mhm.
But I think the general perception is like it's the kind of the big fat sweaty neckbeards
It
that
is.
live in basements who
Yeah.
play.
And that's like TV and media that's
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah,
perpetuating that sort of thing.
Definitely.
but it's also like I think the Warhammer like Games Workshop stores as well.
Yeah.
Because like they do one rule set or they do 40k in Warhammer or whatever. But that's only part of it, the wargaming kind of scene. But everyone sees them on the high street, and those games tend to attract kind of that demographic. So that's how people just kind of associate it. So it's GW's fault, really. That's what I'm trying to say there.
It's an interesting point about like the kind of the store idea, because a lot of places, like where we play for sure, like it's not very public.
Yeah.
So I would say like if you go into like where we play, it's quite a good kind of age spread. There are some girls that go in and play various different games. If that was in a spot in town that was maybe a little bit more public, that in itself would maybe help attract a kind of wider array of people.
Yeah.
Maybe just historically, like as you say, people, it's kind of been on the kind of fringes. Like it would be very unusual to see a kind of gaming store, I think, in this country in the centre of a town that was like easily accessible and like visual to a wide array of people. I don't know, people just naturally play kind of out the way. So there's like even like people that have Facebook accounts and stuff don't necessarily like talking about hobby stuff on their Facebook. They like having like private groups and stuff because they don't want, you know, people saying what they're doing and things. So I guess there's a bit of a stigma which comes with it, which probably doesn't help.
I know my cousin's boyfriend was trying to get into it. It was really funny because we went into the Warhammer what's that shop called?
It's Warhammer.
As it is, Warhammer. In Glasgow, and we bumped into them, and my little cousin went beetroot red and was like, oh my goodness, we didn't just bump into somebody in this shop. Like, she was genuinely embarrassed. I was like, oh, bless you.
She's like, this is what I love.
But then you get the new age of wargamer like Paul and I don't give a fuck. Did you want to say something, Eddie?
Just that I feel awful for making a really horrible...
Well, good. You've alienated
And there's-
all of our listeners.
There is absolutely nothing wrong with being a middle-aged man who lives with your parents. That's absolutely fine, because that's what we're doing.
Paul's a middle-aged man who lives with his parents.
Yeah.
I'm a middle-aged woman who lives with his parents.
Yeah.
The stigma is completely unfounded then. That's good to know. What's the next question?
So the next question, kind of related to that, do you think, for better or worse, the game has has or has had a significant effect on your relationship? And if so, has that been a positive or a negative effect? What do you think, Laura?
On a relationship.
Yeah, for better or worse.
For richer, for poorer.
Well, actually,
Definitely for poorer.
Go on then. This is good because this is me getting insight into our relationship.
Because actually, I think one of the benefits of it is that I get peace. I know that sounds funny, funny to say that, but you do a lot of painting and you do a lot of building these wee guys, and I get time to read and do what I want to do. But the downside to that is that when I do want to, spend time with you, sometimes, you're busy painting.
I'm really glad you added that because you just made me sound like super clingy. For the first part of that, I was like,
I get peace from him. Close the baby gate.
Yeah. I just get locked in my wee room to paint for a couple of hours and Laura comes and gets me.
God, that sounds great.
Sigh of relief.
Ow.
I'm glad you see the positives to that within the relationship though, like having time to yourself to do what you want, whether that be like read a book or do your hobby or whatever it is you're into. Like,
well, it is important that you have your thing that you do.
And would you say that it's relatively well balanced?
Depends what time of the year it is and whether or not you have a tournament coming up.
Well, that's fair enough.
Yeah, I think that's fair as well.
Yeah, that's fine. I get that. What about you, Jordan?
I wouldn't say it's had a significant impact on a relationship. Again, I like the fact that you've got, something to do, so I can sit downstairs and drink gin and watch TV with your mum. Which is pretty cool. I think it does take up a lot of your time when I don't know if you were doing stuff with a manual.
Manual?
Were you doing something with a manual or a rule book? Were you doing anything about rules?
Doing anything about rules?
Yeah, where you had to make the rules and type it all up. And
was that maybe when Paul and I were doing the tournament? Is that what you're thinking of? Or you think about like the ETC stuff before we went to...
I'm not sure. I feel like you had some role in something, or it was maybe presented to me like you had a role in something that was very important that took a lot of your time for answering questions on a forum. And
oh,
stuff.
yeah, no, that's because I help out in the forum, so I'm a community support.
Yeah. I think it takes a lot of time when you're on your... I think you're on your phone a bit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I would agree with that.
You are on your phone a lot, answering questions and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I'm always like, put it down!
I think that's fair, though. I'm actually thinking about dropping the ACS because it just saps your time.
But I wouldn't say it's had a significant negative impact at all. Yeah. I think it's good that everyone's got their own kind of interests and hobbies and they can pursue that, and yeah. I liked how you're like, do you mind if I go to Zagreb? Thank you for letting me go. Here's a present for you.
Notice how I did that when you were drunk as well. We were on holiday.
Making this perception like I'm drunk all the time. Yeah, we were on holiday.
Yeah.
Paul is on his phone all of the time. And now you get these, I think you're supposed to get these apps nowadays that will like time your screen time. I totally think you should get that and like find out how much time you spend like on your phone on these things.
I think
it would be a significant amount of time.
It probably is.
Yeah. It's the buzzer on the Facebook notification that really, like, I can just find my patience disappearing every time it goes.
That's not my fault.
That's Michael's fault.
That is Michael's fault.
Following the conversations.
Do you know Michael posted the same GIF 3 times today?
He did. For no good reason.
For no good reason.
Mute the vibrate. You don't need it
I have
to go
muted it. I know. I did. I've got muted now.
Good. I'm very tolerant.
Okay. Next one.
Shall we move on?
Yeah.
So the next question came in from Tim.
Tim Bartnick.
How do you explain your partner's hobby to your friends and family when they ask what your other half is doing?
Okay, we've kind of covered that, but...
What do you tell your friends and family?
Just that it's that Warhammer army game where they, build the guys and paint them and then fight with them in army things that takes 3 hours and then that's about all last week.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I'm the same. Kind of Warhammer-y stuff, war games, over a big board with a dice. Dice is key. And
dice
no,
is key.
It doesn't wear a costume, and no, it's not reenactment.
It's not reenact. That's a common one, yeah. So I've got a hilarious story. So this is from Michael. I think I've maybe told you this before.
Yeah.
So when Michael obviously has a girlfriend, and he was like, I'm getting into this hobby, blah, blah, blah. She was like, yeah, no, that sounds fine, blah, blah, blah. Never asked any more about it. And it kind of went on and went on and went on. And then there was, like, months later, like, she saw photos of him playing or something, or he was playing at the house or something like that, and she was asking him, like, what was he doing? And he's like, oh, it's this hobby thing that I do. And she just let out this sigh of relief. She was like, oh, thank God. Because she thought it was just, like an adult play group. Where they just...
Oh dear.
Michael would be well into that, though.
Oh, he would be.
I think loads of guys would be into that. I'm into that. Maybe not.
We do occasionally make sound effects while we're playing the game.
That's true.
Ah!
That's chicken noises.
I used to work in a kids' play area, and all of the adults wanted in for a bit.
Oh,
of fun.
100%.
Like,
Ball pool.
big kids.
Come on.
It was his birthday party the other day, and there was like a bouncy castle, and it was impossible to stay off of it.
Yeah, they didn't let me on. Bastards.
And we played basketball instead, and pool.
Yeah, I know, right? Paul will know this. Like, it's the fear that you fall on a small child and kill them.
Yeah,
With your
which is
toe.
legit. Like a 3x3 foot bouncy castle. Okay, shall we move on then?
Let's do it.
Bit of a harder question here. Have you ever had to sacrifice a romantic evening because of your partner's hobby? Jordan.
You're an asshole.
I didn't write the questions, man. Don't blame me.
Did we have to sacrifice our Edinburgh Festival trip because you had a game?
Right. Okay.
Here we go.
Let's,
Yep. Yes, we did.
Let's
Yes,
set
we did.
this.
let's
No
set the record
argument.
straight, yo.
Mm,
I have no memory of making this plan. This has nothing to do with the hobby, per se.
you had no memory of making this plan because you made the event that we discussed while you were drunk.
See, the drink's coming in again.
Yeah. Let's go to the Edinburgh Festival. Let's have a really nice time. Perfect. We'll go with my brother and his girlfriend. It'll be great. Text Andrew the night before or a couple of nights before. He's like, I don't remember this. Really don't remember
No,
this.
it wasn't. It wasn't even like an event. It was, I'll invite Paul round.
Oh, yeah.
You're in this now, Paul.
So, Paul, you won. You won that day.
Yeah, that wasn't to do with the hobby, though. That was just to do with I forgot that we were meant to be doing.
That was being an Andrew.
That was doing an Andrew. Yeah, that has nothing to do with wargaming per se. It's just me.
Wargaming trumped, though, because there was the option to...
I'd already invited Paul, though. That would be really rude. Come on.
You'd already arranged to go to the festival with my brother and his girlfriend.
But
Also rude.
I'd done this previously. Moving on. Next question.
Laura, have you ever had to sacrifice a romantic evening because I've fucked up and like made plans?
We don't do romantic evenings. That's all.
That's damning stuff right there.
And that's how you play that one, gents.
Define romantic evening.
We go out for dinner like once a year on my birthday. You don't do like anything at your birthday.
Well, I might want to get a game in.
That
Got
is
keep my options open,
special,
Laura.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Get a game in. Can I get a game in? Maybe get a game in on Saturday. Alright.
I'm going to get a game on Saturday, if that's alright.
Yeah, it's fine.
Both established that we're rubbish partners.
Yep.
Next question, again, is from Casimir. Do you find that it's possible to socialise with your partner while they hobby?
No,
Is that a good compromise? No? Why not?
physically impossible.
So if I'm painting or whatever, you can't like...
I wouldn't say that's hobbying. I would say the hobbying is more the gameplay.
Oh, do you think?
Yeah, I think there needs to be distinctions.
See, that's interesting.
That is interesting because I can speak to you while you're painting because
Yep.
you're up in the loft and you've got music on. But see, while you're hobbying and you're involved in a game, we can't get hold of you. You went to another country.
Yep.
And we were like, Andrew, did you arrive safe? Andrew, did you arrive safe? Your mum was messaging you. Andrew, have you arrived safe? Andrew, I fucking hope you've arrived safe.
To be fair, again, that was the alcohol again.
Hours later, must have been about 5-6 hours after you've arrived, and we got a, yeah, I'm here. Excellent.
Could have been anyone replying.
It could have been anyone replying.
That wasn't technically a hobby, though. That was... Plus, the flight was delayed.
But you were playing a game while you messaged and you'd forgotten to message.
Okay.
Or you might have Okay. Okay.
Well, it's interesting you made the distinction there, because normally when, like, gamers talk about it, like the hobby side of things is, like, painting and building and stuff like that.
Yeah, because I come up and sit with you sometimes while you're doing that. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'll sit on my iPad or watch something, and it's
Yeah.
quite nice. So I can sit with you while you're painting
Yeah.
and making stuff, and that's quite cool.
I think it's kind of slightly different for us because I do all my stuff up below.
Yeah.
Just because that's where I've got my painting table set up, so...
You don't really play it at home, you more play it on ground.
Yeah, we play at Common Ground a lot of time. That's just because it's really space issue more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas there was a period where
know,
I would just invade Paul's flat,
Mm.
and Laura would just have to kind of
Times.
deal with it.
Yeah.
To be fair, you'd be watching TV in the same room.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not really socialising with you guys. And it's not how I would define
You're in the general area.
socialising.
You're in the general.
No, but like, if I was sitting painting or whatever, and you're sitting watching Doctor Who or whatever, like you could be reading something on your phone, and you could start talking to me about something. Like we could sit and chat.
Have a chat. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
suppose. I'll give you that.
Yeah. See, so it's not like I just sit and ignore you. I set headphones on. I'm like, don't fuck with me and paint.
Don't fuck with me.
So next one's from Felix.
Capitan.
Have you ever been to an event with your partner? If not, describe the kind of people you would expect to see there. So Jordan, you had some very strong views on people in the hobby. Do
Oh no.
you want to chime in?
I had some strong, horrible
And they're on air forever now.
perceptions that were...
See, when
that
people
were-
Google your name, that's the first thing that's going to come up.
No, it's not.
Is I'm going to bypass your academic profile and go straight to that.
No. Please no. What was the question?
Have you ever been to an event with your partner? If not, describe the kind of people that you would see
So
there.
no.
So I think this is actually quite interesting.
So no, I've never been to an event. You've never asked me to go to an event.
Wow, wait, flip it right there.
Yeah, just saying. No,
Would you want to go to an event with me?
I don't know.
Well, Laura's been to an event because she's going to pick Paul up. It's not.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I've not been to an event per se, but I've picked loads of guys up before in my tiny car just the week before.
Yeah,
I
so
was
you were-
I've
you
heard
were-
about that.
Yeah,
That
you're the
doesn't sound
taxi.
dodgy whatsoever.
Yes, that was. I picked who was it? Tim
you picked
and
Tim, Kieran, and Barry up
yeah.
because we couldn't get a taxi.
But my perceptions were right at the start. Once I got to know that Andrew was playing it and kind of, no, I'm not a horrible person. They were all lovely.
So here's a question. I think there's about maybe 12 to 13 people that kind of play in our club regularly.
Mhm.
I would say about half of those guys are with people. They have respective partners. I know
More than half, isn't
Simon's wife's been in the club.
Yeah.
Laura's been in a few times. Sometimes you'll come in and sit down and you'll watch for maybe 5-10 minutes and then you'll leave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're
Jordan,
more than welcome to come and
You've
see
never
us
came in,
Saturday.
have you?
Okay, I'm busy on Saturday.
So just out with coming to events, I don't think you've even came into the club before.
Awkward.
Who, me?
Yep.
No,
Shit girlfriend.
I've not. What do you mean,
Well,
shit
you do.
girlfriend?
So, well, where I'm going with this,
Oh.
I'll try and get Andrew out of the hole that he's in. It's not just because you don't need to, because Andrew's a strong, independent black woman who can ferry himself around,
Damn straight.
and I'm a chump that can't drive, so Laura has to come pick me up. Or is it basically what I'm trying to say? It's not a conscious decision. You're not ignoring it. You would be open to going into the club just to kind of check it out, or do you just have no interest whatsoever?
You can be honest.
No, it's not that I have no interest. I've dropped Andrew off a good few times
Yeah.
at the club, and I didn't actually realise where it was. So I work in Stirling, and I had studied there for 4 years, and didn't even realise where it was. And when we drove
It is
past,
quite
I was
kinda
like, "Oh my
tucked away,
goodness,
to be
is
fair.
that's common ground." And actually, just before our anniversary, I almost went in. Was it our anniversary or it was something that we were celebrating? I'm not sure. I almost went into. I don't know. I wondered if they had a gift shop. So I very nearly went in, but I couldn't get parked, so I just drove away.
God, I would love
Andrew
to
would be
see
psyched.
this.
Or I
If
would
you
have
went to
just
the
gone
club
in
ground
and been
and
like,
thought,
"Hello,
Yeah.
I'm Jordan."
There is a shop, Jordan.
There is a
Just
shop, yeah.
Heads up,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. I think I was going to maybe get you dice or something, since you always go on about your dice. So,
Don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So no,
Okay.
I almost went in, but I actually just didn't because it was so busy and there
Right.
were no places to get parked. So, but I've dropped you off a good few times.
Okay. See, I think this is interesting because see at tournaments and stuff, I think particularly tournament gamers get a bad rep for being like the fat sweaties, you know, that kind of like the basement dwellers. But actually, I think at tournaments you get like folk are just like, I don't know, just normal guys. I mean, there's obviously going to be the occasional dungeon dweller that comes out, but
Yeah, there's the occasional rotund gentleman.
we are never going to listen to
Those
ever
ETC chairs didn't break themselves, that's all I'm saying.
again. I know, right?
Now who's being mean?
I'm just saying. But I mean, that's within the normal spectrum. There are plenty of other,
You go down to Ibrox
chaps.
or Celtic Park at the weekend, you'll see
Oh, yeah.
a wide array.
dogs hanging in. Yeah, sure.
I must say, as someone who has been into the club, it is a bit, what's the word, disconcerting to walk into a room like basically full of men, and
Yeah.
like you feel a bit like on the spot. I
Oh
don't
no,
know.
I've said to guys like we've been there like playing on a Saturday, and there's maybe like 60 people in the room,
Mhm.
and there's like one female in the corner playing a card game, and I'm like, holy shit, there's a woman in here.
Yeah,
Like, that's awesome.
it stands out. You do feel like it's obvious that you're the only woman in.
We'll kind of come to this later when we talk about
I'd like to go in.
Yeah.
the hobby.
Yeah, I
And,
want
like,
to go in and see people's.
appealing to them.
Okay, I need to word this very carefully. I was going to say I want to go in and see people's figures, but I just mean like the wee
Yeah,
guys.
their
arms.
And then I was going to say wee guys. No, I can't say that either. But I like to,
Jesus.
like when was it you and Paul that were making the river to go through?
Yes, yeah.
That was really cool, and I was like, oh, you need to.
So that's
do
for the
this,
tournament that
and
we're doing in November.
Yeah. I love all that sort of stuff,
Okay, cool.
but I wouldn't
Yeah, it's
want
cool
to go in
seeing
and
all the
undermine
different
it.
types of armies as well. They have like some more futuristic things and stuff. It's pretty cool.
It's a good store. There's a good mix of stuff going on.
Yeah,
Steve's a nice guy, though.
I'd go in and be like, oh, that's so cool, it's so pretty.
And Steve has a dog that he just lets wander around, so there's something for
Oh
everybody.
yeah, Sky.
Oh, I love dogs.
Sky's a cutie.
Steve knows what he's doing.
Yeah, Steve knows what he's doing.
That's the only reason he's got that dog.
Yeah, if you want to know how to get women into the game, that is how to do it.
Cute puppy.
Want to come in and pet my schnauzer?
Oh.
Oh, that's a dark side of Steve that we've never seen before.
First Steve.
Okay, next question. Again, from Felix. Can you describe how people play the game at the highest level? Now, I'm interested to get Andrew's take on what that question actually means, because I don't play at the highest level, so I'm not sure I even know the answer to that question.
Do you play at the highest level?
Yeah, I play the highest level. I went to ETC, babe. I'm a fucking big deal.
Sorry.
Andrew knows people.
I know people.
I know. Proud of you. I'm proud of you.
Thanks. Okay, so I would say highest level is just like big tournaments where it's kind of there's always people that take things too seriously. Like at the end of the game,
Like-
it's a game, but
Can I see that?
like Poland. Oh yeah, we bashed Poland before. Yeah, you open up about Poland.
Like the handshake moment.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
So the handshake
Explain
moment
the handshake
we're referring to
Describe the handshake
at
moment.
ETC this year. One of the English ETC players went to shake a certain Polish player's hand and pulled his hand away at the last minute. Much to the hilarity of everyone that was watching, the Polish player did not take this very well, and then continued to 20 the English player. But yeah, I think there's always people that take it too seriously, but I would say the highest level, what Felix is referring to there, is kind of like big tournaments, so you're talking like big national championships, and like ETC kind of international games and things like that,
Yeah,
I would
that
say.
was cool. I was bigging you up. I was telling everyone. He's a way to Zagreb.
Yeah.
He's like a world
I'm a big deal.
Wargamer, or we were like, what's he doing? He's in it was, what was it again? What was the ETC?
European Team
I
Championship.
was like, yeah, he's part of the European. And they were like, oh, that's
my
really cool. What
God.
sport is that? I'm like, war games.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't say that just out of the fact I would then have to explain what that was.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Highest level game? How do you think people play it?
I'd imagine it like superior chess, but also everyone's got like a 2-second time limit to make a move. But I know that's not how it works.
Yeah, I feel
Felix
like
May
it
does
should be
use
faster.
chess box.
It's not faster.
Do you
Yeah,
have a
it's
time limit?
No.
That'd be terrible. Maybe I'll move him there.
Well, it's because you can be penalised for slow play.
That would be me.
Because you get like 3 hours for the game or whatever, and if you don't finish the game in that time, you get penalised. So it's important that both players play reasonably quick.
Within 3 hours isn't how I would define fast.
See, you say that, but
Oh, there's people that get nowhere near to finishing a game within 3 hours. Yeah.
Jeez.
Slow playing is a thing unto itself.
Who
People
gets the time?
sometimes do like purposely too.
Yeah,
So
so who
unless-
gets the time penalty? Does the slow player get the time penalty, or do both get the time penalty?
so this depends, right? So at the highest level, ETC, the way that they were penalising slow play was basically if both players can't reach an agreement at the end of the game and they didn't complete the game, both players get penalised. But if you could prove that one player was slower than another, i.e. through a chess clock, which is what we were all using, well, I didn't use my chess clock once at ETC, so I'm a shit person to use this as an example for. But if you can prove that the other person was slow playing you, then they would get penalised.
Cool.
So yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
When
I think
Felix asks the question, can you describe how people play the game? Is he meaning like the practicalities of actually playing, or like
I
when
guess
I
just
read
like what kind of like,
I thought he
atmosphere
meant
do you
like
think?
how geeky do you think the people that are that play it?
I feel like we've covered that.
Yeah, so basically what you're saying is see previous answer. Right.
See about-
See appendix A.
Okay.
I would say it's quite serious at the highest level. Not like, again, seriousness can be anything from, sitting an exam to launching a nuke, but I think that when people play at the highest level, they are concentrating on the game, so, like, I'm really bad for looking really angry when I'm playing.
Yeah, you do that.
Like, people have come up to me and say, like, are you alright? I'm like, yeah, I'm totally fine, I'm just concentrating.
Aww.
It's probably because you're a big dude as well, though.
Yeah, probably.
And they're maybe concerned you're gonna, like, rage out and flip the table or some shit.
I do, like, I touch my face a lot and I play with my hair as well when I'm playing, and then, yeah, I'm a fucking mess, so I don't know.
Yeah.
So, next question is from Jordan. If you could swap your partner's hobby for any other, what would it be? I feel like we should add a caveat to that as would you want to change your partner's, and if so, what would it be?
Okay. I think Laura should go first, and she just threw me down a hole.
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? The answer should be no. Should be no deliberation.
Okay, so no. What would it be if you could have another
You could
hobby?
choose. I know exactly what you would say.
Something that would make you really fit. I'm only joking. I'm not really.
So like a support.
I've had too much whiskey.
So like a sport.
No, yeah, sure.
I know what you would choose.
What?
If you could choose
Tell me.
for me to do any other
Okay.
hobby that you would love, like dancing or something like that.
No, that's.
You
I
would-
love to dance, but
Laura, you would love it if I came home and goes, you know what? I'm not
ballroom
gonna,
dancing, yes.
I'm not
for
going to
sure.
paint tonight. Let's go dancing. You'd be like, you would love that.
You would think
Okay.
I was having a seizure if I did that.
Yeah, you're actually a good dancer. If we ever go to a party, a family party,
I just got that
we're
base
both
covered
on the
already.
dance floor,
Yeah.
and you're good.
Damn straight, I'm good. I'm a big deal, Jay.
Definitely. Definitely.
Okay, Jay, what do you think? If you could swap my hobby for another, what would it be?
Would it be another hobby? I'd like you to start doing your own fucking washing for a start.
There we go.
I did not see that
First
coming.
critical blow of the night.
Waiting to say that.
Mortal wound, D6 wounds. See you later.
No, I don't think.
No?
No, I think your hobby's lovely.
Aww.
Oh, that's not
rude.
one said at all.
Oh.
If you had to change the hobby, what would you change it to though?
If you had to.
Well, I would say rugby, but then I wouldn't want you to get hurt. So I like the fact that you're not.
I got
gonna
pretty
get...
fucked up when I was playing rugby. Like.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't want you to
Yeah.
get hurt. But think about it, right? This is a really that you're going. This is going to come back to bite me. But you've made so many friends.
Paul, see, before I met you, my life was so hollow.
Yeah, well,
I was going to say, did Andrew do not have any friends or started playing this game or something?
lots of like community support, and then you've been away to Zagreb and all over the place. Like,
Yeah.
That's excellent. What good experience from a hobby.
God, you're being so supportive right now.
Cashing in the girlfriend points.
But do your own washing.
Do you want to watch
Yeah,
it?
that would be a good one.
Okay.
That one's not a joke. And ironing.
Moving swiftly on.
Okay, so Tommy has another question. What proportion of your joint expendable income gets frittered away on stupid little plastic men?
Oh, if only I knew.
Yeah. You definitely don't know, only because I definitely don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I generally ask, though. I give you forewarning.
Yeah.
It's not like random boxes start turning up to the house and you're like, Paul, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, but to be fair, like, I do my own fair amount of spending on.
Oh, yeah,
my
like if
own
you come
things,
home and like, oh, I
so-
bought this and this and this, I'm like, oh, game's on!
So yeah, like, it's
Yes, it's fine.
yeah, evens
I
out.
think the fact that I'm quite a slow painter helps. Like, I generally don't bulk buy and then paint and then buy more. I generally just buy so much and paint it and then buy more than paint it.
And you've been really good, like, you've not bought too much at all in the last
Like an
number of
addiction.
months because we've got the wedding to pay for.
Well, this is it. Like, I don't really have the luxury to, like, take the piss and be like,
At the
I'm gonna buy
moment,
some
anyway.
new stuff. Oh, after December, holy shit, you better, like, get prepared. It's gonna be a lot of fucking spending.
Steve is going to be in the money.
Oh, Steve is. Steve's gonna be walking around common ground in, like, fucking fur coats and canes and shit. Funded by Paul.
Yeah, the wedding is draining everything from us.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, so I mean, I can give you a number.
No. What about you guys?
Well, we don't have, like...
So you've got separate bank accounts.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun.
So do we, but obviously we have to pull our money at the moment.
hmm
Actually, I'd be interested. How much do you think I spend?
I think you spend over £100 a month. Or I think if you were to, like, over the year, I would say it would work out at
Probably
approximately average about £100 a
Okay.
month, £100-ish a month. But talking about hiding boxes, Andrew's dad has this... I don't know if he's got this perception or
No, this
idea
is just
that-
his own paranoia.
This is just his own paranoia,
Yeah.
so he likes to hide them.
So when I get stuff delivered to the house.
So when Andrew gets stuff delivered to the house, he'll send him a text message like, I've hidden it underneath your sock drawer on the left-hand side. It's like, okay, cool. Or it's on top of the wardrobe. On top of the wardrobe, inside the wardrobe, in this shelf. I'm like, okay, it's fine. She's not going to
I think it's
But-
his own paranoia.
yeah.
I'm like, I'm really not fussed about her seeing.
be like, there's another box there, Jordan. What do you think that is? I don't know. Maybe more figures.
Constant shit stir.
Yeah. But no, I don't... Yeah.
But that's like,
Yeah,
that's
that's
everything,
it.
right? That's like miniatures, going to common ground, events. Or is that just miniatures?
No, it's not.
Well, when you factor all that in, I guess.
Right. So, I think it would vary because I go through periods of buying a lot, but I buy a lot to build and paint it. Like, I don't have a massive amount upstairs that's not painted.
Mhm.
I've got like a 2-paint pile, which is, there's got stuff on it, but
Obviously,
like-
everyone has a 2-paint pile.
yeah. But there's some guys that have like rooms full of like just boxes of stuff that they've never even looked at. Whereas
Oh, Michael's fucking
Don't try and do
horrendous.
that.
yeah, no, I don't do that because I get like paranoid about it. And I'm like, I need to paint that a lot.
Like, just to give you guys a bit of an insight, like, Michael in the club, like, he got to the point where
Holy shit.
he was only buying miniatures, not even opening the boxes, not even playing with them. I think he's recently moved in with his partner, and before she came over, he was like actively selling shit off to try and limit the damage for when she came over, and was like, "What the fuck has been going on?"
I love that you make a really bad example, or not a bad example, but so there's this guy that has 3 rooms full, so I'm not as bad as that.
Exactly. Well, that's what you got to remember, Jay. It's important.
Well, you got to put it in perspective, right?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And the next topic is women in the hobby. So the first question is, do you think it's possible to get more women involved in the game, or is this a hobby that you think will always be more intrinsically male dominated?
Well, I don't want to make any generalisations about
But I'll make a generalisation
But
now.
genders in general, but
We
like,
covered
I
that in the
guess
first
that's
topic.
really what it all comes down to, isn't it? Like, and I personally know that my issues with the game are that I'm too impatient for it, and I am quite what's the word?
Too competitive, too high maintenance.
Yeah, too high maintenance. Ow.
I was just seeing if you were paying attention.
No, just a bit too competitive to be able to
To
like
learn.
put in the effort to learn that sort of thing and put in the time to learn it properly.
So it's not really anything to do with gender, it's just your
No,
personal
exactly.
disposition.
Like, and I think people who are more artistic would maybe be more drawn to like the painting side of things.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe people who do like games like chess and you know,
Makes sense.
it makes sense. Like the kind of mental challenge that comes with trying to make your way through the game and try and think ahead. But I mean, that was one aspect of it that appealed to me. But
so, do you think the kind of nature of playing those kind of games has nothing to do with gender at all? It's just, in your case, it's just personal preference, or do you think that there's something about it?
There is. I mean, it is very angry. I will say that the game is very angry.
It's kind of aggressive
everything's
nature.
ugly and mean, and it's all about. And I know that's kind of the point of it.
You're killing stuff, yeah.
But that doesn't appeal to me. I want things that are pretty. That's the thing. I wanted to paint something pretty.
I brought you wood elves.
Or happy looking, not angry looking.
I brought you lovely tree
guts
people.
spilling out, or like, you know, like...
It's just no fun in some people.
Skulls everywhere. There is no army that is like that.
There is.
There's like one or two, but that's it.
There's loads.
And even at that, they're mean. They look mean. Even the elves look mean.
Elves are shitbags. Jordan,
Jay, what do you think?
Oh, yeah, I think it is a hobby that will be more
Just male dominated.
intrinsically male dominated. Just by its nature, it is a more male dominated hobby right now, and I don't think that's likely to change. It's personally for me, it's not something that I would go, oh, I definitely want to play that. But I love like playing Star Wars with you and watching Lord of the Rings, and
so it's not the genre, it's just the kind of games more.
I think there's more barriers for me in terms of knowing how good you are and how competitive it is and the nature of the game, and thinking that I wouldn't be able to enjoy playing it because I wasn't good enough. That would be sort of my personal barriers, and I think a more general barrier would be that it is a male-dominated hobby, and that could be off-putting for some people.
Okay.
But I don't think there's any sort of, huge barriers to women.
for you personally, Jordan, would I be right in saying then that there's an element of it that's about confidence?
Yeah. I would be anxious that I would be judged because I wasn't good enough. And as a result, I'd be, it's just a silly girl trying to play this game. Like, she doesn't know anything.
Oh, Jay, you should see some of the jabronis that play in our club play.
Oh, I'm shit.
That would make me want to play more.
Yeah, see, I'm sort
because
of
I would
like
want
that,
to prove them wrong. Yeah. If I thought people were thinking that would.
So what you're saying is,
I
I should start putting you down and like, male chauvinistic about it, and maybe you'll start coming along and like.
Because this is recorded, so if this turns up in court, it's going to look really bad.
Okay, I'll stop talking now.
Until your lawyer is present. So, linked onto that, what do you think the major barriers are to women becoming interested? Because, like, particularly the painting side of things, like you both mentioned there, if you go onto Twitter and you kind of follow a lot of the gaming Twitter feeds, it's actually, there's shed loads of women do the painting. And there's shed loads of Twitter pages where women paint and, like, commission work, and just because they're interested, they just paint the models. Not a lot of women play. There are women that play, but there's a bigger kind of... You can see more women in the painting side of things than other things. So what is it that do you think the barriers are for getting into painting, but more generally just kind of getting in the game? Because obviously some women are getting over that barrier, but not getting into the game. Or is it just because you think that just women just kind of aren't really interested in it?
I'm not sure if it is I love talking about barriers. I'm not sure if it is a sense of getting over that barrier. I mean, is the painting something that is appealing towards that individual person, and perhaps not the gaming side of things? It's like males and ballet. Like,
that's a good point.
Ballet's a very, very kind of rigorous, difficult sport. I mean, I know it's obviously it's
you have
an
to be
art,
proper fit to
and
do
you've
ballet,
got to be very, very fit to do that. So how okay? So why are there not more male ballet dancers? You've got to be incredibly fit, but it's not the same as just being fit. General fitness. You've got to love that, and I don't think I would love this kind of game, standing up for 3 hours and I don't know, thinking very intensely over strategy and trying to plot my next move and being face to face with someone as well. I would get not upset, but like, I can't hide my anger if I'm angry. I'd be chucking my dice all over the place.
That sounds like me.
I'm done with this game. That would be me. But I would be interested to see it. But I wouldn't say I don't know. It's more male dominated, and generally that could be a barrier for some
It's a
women.
barrier in of itself.
It is a barrier in itself that it's more male dominated, and for some women the fear of being stereotyped. But I just don't think it's really me.
Okay, no, that's fair.
So for what it's worth, I'm sure Andrew would agree with me here that I think generally 99.9% of guys that play the game would love it if there were more women that played. But I can totally appreciate the fact that more men play is in of itself a barrier to even appeal to women to come in and give it a go. Like, the Scottish Championship was probably the first kind of larger event that I went to, and I noticed a very different kind of atmosphere at that event than our kind of more casual events that we run. And there was only maybe 30-ish guys playing.
Yeah. And
to me, it felt very different. And there was in my mind at the time, I thought, this feels a little bit more laddie. Like, this kind of crowd of people, like, the atmosphere is almost akin to, like, a sports club. Like, it didn't feel like how it would normally feel in our club when we turn up and play casually on a Saturday. So I can totally, like, appreciate that. Do you think, like, this might sound really condescending, and I don't mean it to be, but do you think if people said we were going to host a night and it was exclusively for new people and specifically women, do you think, obviously you guys have said that you're not necessarily super interested in the game as individuals, but do you think other women might respond to that who were interested but were otherwise put off? Do you think they would think, well, if I was playing in an environment with other people at my level and it was, you know, more casual, do you think that would appeal to them?
I think it would definitely deal with that barrier, because I think I've said that myself, that, like, I would be more open to it if I was playing somebody who was in the exact same situation as me in terms of how well they knew the game, and if it was a friend, like somebody who was a female, I wouldn't feel as bad because you don't feel so kind of in the
you're less
spotlight.
self-conscious and stuff.
But at the same time, and saying that, like, for example, if it was one of my friends, they would know nothing about the game. I would know nothing about the game. It would take even longer for us to do anything because of that.
Well, and this
and the
kind
patience for me is the major issue with this game.
Yeah.
It's just how long it takes you to do anything, and there's so many rules. So, like, wrapping your head around that, and, like, you can't really do anything without. You would do one thing, and it could be wrong for all you know, but you just kind of keep moving on because you can't not. So it's very
You're
complex.
never really learning in that case.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think I'm the same. I like to know the intricacies of something, of everything. Like, you were discussing how to play chess, and I was like, right, so I need to know this, and I need to know this step, and I need to know this step. It's like learning a computer program. Like, what does this do? What does this do? What does this do? I like to know everything before I can continue, and I would be too anxious, or not anxious, I would be too worried that I was wasting everyone's time by going, hang on a second, so what does that mean?
It's the only way you learn. I know it's like, I know it's
playing
nice
at
thing,
a level where people are, you know, experts or good at the game, I would feel like I was being a burden if I didn't know. So yeah, probably an open night or.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have an open night now. And now you've said that, you know, you're totally obliged
to come. Okay, cool. As long as the dog's there.
The dog will probably be there.
Yay!
Okay, so what could the game, kind of linked into that, focusing more on Ninth Age, because something that Ninth Age has done, like, you know, our friend Ed, he writes a lot of the background stuff for it. So what the Ninth Age background team have done, and I think quite admirably, is that they've tried to kind of remove gender bias, because there's always that kind of bit of gender bias within fantasy, but within Ninth Age, they've tried to open it up a bit more. Like, the main human protagonist is Suna. She's like the goddess of the human empire.
Yes.
She's a woman. Some of the chaos gods, so like the big baddies in the game, or like kind of the more evil kind of baddies, are females. So there's the goddess of wrath is obviously a woman. She's kind of like a big player. And,
not to like step on your toes there, but you said obviously as a woman. That was an interesting.
Hell hath no wrath. So yeah, do you think there's something that you think that's kind of a good way of getting women in the game, or do you think there's better ways to try and get women involved?
I think it definitely changes the tone of like the game, the army, whatever, to have more females in it. But I think they need to be careful as well, because I have seen a lot of things that I think are just sexualised, which I don't know if...
That's another problem historically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff are really sexualised.
Exactly. And you don't get that with any of the male...
You get some pretty hunky dudes though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
I know.
do.
I
Actually,
mean-
that is a point, but I have a big opinion on the sexualisation of women gamers or
Go
women
for
in
it.
gaming.
Go for it. This is your platform.
Laura, were you finished talking? Sorry.
Yeah, that was pretty much all I wanted to say, that, you know, it definitely changes the tone. I like the idea of the, like, having more female warriors in these armies, but just to be careful, because I have seen some of them quite sexualised, and that just puts women off, I think.
Yeah, no, I definitely think having more women kind of written into the whole core of the story would, make it seem
That's
more
exciting.
appealing and, some more, not more acceptance, kind of, because it makes us sound like, we're not accepted, but I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Like, we've got a role here, we can absolutely do this. But yeah, I have a big opinion on the sexualisation of women in gaming. I just think that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it does happen to men to a degree, because you get these big hunk warrior guys,
Yeah.
but you do get these overly sexualised women characters. Like, what is someone doing if they're trying to fight bad guys, okay, in a bra and a pair of pants? Where's the pockets?
Where's the pocket?
Or,
Bring back the pockets!
Where am I going to put my lipstick and my perfume? Like, come on!
Don't think you're helping the cause there, Jay.
No pockets! But, like, obviously I'm joking, but that's just silly.
I agree.
Where's the functionality in that? It's not pragmatic at all for someone to do that. And it just creates this ideal of, or women being like damsels in distress, like Peach and Mario Brothers. Like, what is she doing, getting herself bloody captured all the time?
Yeah.
She's just a liability. Mario should have dumped her
She's
ass
a
years
liability,
ago.
and she is portrayed as a liability, and that's not the case, because you're the one that forgets stuff.
Sure. You're 100% the Mario in our equation.
I am the Mario.
I think that's all fair enough, and I would say certainly in the last couple of years there are more companies that have kind of recognised that, and you do get companies which are bringing out, exclusively female-led centric armies.
Yep.
Much more realistic and on par with the men.
Well, here's a question for you. See, when you guys play,
Yep.
when you pick an army or when you're playing an army, your favourite, like, I don't know, dudes or whatever, like, do you like them because you can relate in any way to them, or are there aspects to them that you like, particular reasons that you can relate to? Because at the end of the day, that's generally how I roll with these things. I like to relate to what I'm doing, and so having more females in this kind of army situation, like, if she looks like, she's badass, going ahead, she's going to take out this army, then I'm all for it. That excites me, that I'm happy about that. Like, let's do this. Whereas, if someone there who, look, I have nothing to relate to with that. Like, that, what's the point in her being there? You know what I mean? Like, that's
so
not why.
Not
I
to
would
blow our
want
own
to
horn
be
or
doing
anything
that.
like that, but we did like an episode about like aesthetics and like what we like. So listeners should definitely go and check out that episode.
Shameless plug.
Like, I don't really see myself in the army that I play whatsoever, because I play fucking Warriors of Chaos or Warriors of Chaos. I'm not an angry person at all.
I wonder if this is like...
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, maybe subconsciously. I mean, aesthetically, I just like, that was kind of why I went with that army, was just the kind of design and my idea about, like, playing the kind of quintessential bad guy I thought was really cool. I don't know about you, Andrew.
Yeah, I kind of like just like the aesthetic of it all. Like, the reason I chose Empire originally was because it's the kind of high Renaissance look and the idea that it's just these normal jabronis up against these like insanely powerful bad guys. And then the reason I chose the vampires was again aesthetic. Like, I like the whole vampire dark kind of magic thing.
Yeah, really
Fucking
cool.
love skellies.
Skeletons.
Skellies are just cool.
Oh,
like,
they're
who doesn't love a
crazy.
skeleton? So yeah, and I like the kind of, like, Jordan and I both like horror films, and I like the kind of a lot of the horror films that do good monsters. You know, like the Wendigos when we played.
Yeah.
What was that? Until Dawn. Is that the name of the game?
Yep.
Like they were just good bad guys because they were like monstrous and
Yeah.
kind of. So yeah, purely aesthetic, and I think that like I've got a very cool vampire model that's a woman.
Yeah, that would appeal to me. I would want something that looked really cool and badass. I wouldn't want something that looked like, oh god, she's got her tits out. Great.
Yeah.
I think there's
so that's my point. Like, what is the person who has that model into, and why? You know,
I mean, you go for it. It's marketing for an audience.
Oh, 100%.
It's a male-dominated game, so
males love titties, so you know.
Well, you can see kind of why.
I do think there's a slightly defend them for a second in some ranges. So like in Warhammer of Old and in Ninth Age. So in Ninth Age there's the demons of lust. So all the dark gods are like a sin. So there's a demon of lust.
Would be,
so lust is all about obviously getting your opponents to drop their guard with like your body and sexuality and stuff. So the boobs are going to be out. So I totally like. I think that's fine from that aspect.
That one.
But I think the main reason why Games Workshop brought out Slaanesh, which was their kind of Dark God equivalent, originally was to sell half-naked lady models.
The representation of that in the 90s was actually really cool. Like if you read the Wars of the Dark Gods book, they talk about the different sins and lust, and the way they deal with that is actually really cool. So they all still wear armour and stuff. They still look like knights, but it's all like carvings and runes and all that all over their armour, and their armour is slightly different, so it's a lot more subtle.
Yeah.
Which I guess in a way makes it more sexualized, but it's a more kind of subtle way and clever way of doing it.
Yeah.
So you can still have like models that make sense on the table, but the fluff is written in such a way that it's done at a kind of higher level. It's not as obvious. So like
with a story, so
yeah, exactly. It's not there just for the sake of look what I bought. It's a woman with their jugs out or whatever. Do you know?
Yeah.
Not that I do that, of course.
Hides lost army under table.
That you know. Like apart from like having like designated nights of appealing to like new players and trying to encourage more women to play, is there anything that you think would help us like appeal to more women, like other than that?
How to help you appeal to more women, Andrew?
In the game, I should say.
Oh right, okay.
Get your dick out.
No.
What other women are you on to appeal to?
That's a hard question. I don't really know.
Yes, it is a hard question. I'm sure if
we don't know the answer either. That's what I'm asking.
Came up with that, they would have by now, because you know it's another demographic for them to like sell models to. But
maybe you should run some focus groups and some interviews to assess the barriers and gain some rich insights into the complexities of this.
One thing I would say that's positive, I am noticing more women in gaming stores and even just looking at tables.
Yeah, I think because there's way more just generally board games available now, like the amount of Kickstarters and different things, like that mix hybrid of playing a board game with 2 or 3 other people that maybe include miniatures as well now.
Yeah, it's kind of your gateway drug.
It's a good bridge into maybe can like, oh, I actually quite like the painting and having these little interesting characters. Maybe, playing an actual tabletop game might be interesting. And both of you guys have mentioned the kind of scale of the game can be somewhat off-putting, and the kind of time that comes with that. Like, we should also say that the game can be played at any scale, really. I mean, if you wanted to play a 60-minute game, once you know the rules, that's totally doable. You just use less models. Yeah. And so for the purposes of learning, like throwing you in the deep end and for you to play at the scale that we play, it's, not a good idea. And I mean, the game itself has kind of recognised that, and they've actually written a starter pack specifically for new players.
Oh, that's good. That's really good.
As a kind of gateway drug to see, like, you can dip your toe in and if you like it, you can.
The financial thing as well, like if you buy a couple units, you're not splurging, hundreds of pounds on
I'm not becoming your enabler.
Okay.
You don't actually need one.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm good, thanks.
Cool. Well, I think we've talked about that. That's a nice little conclusion. So, the final topic that we need to do is the quickfire round. So I think what we'll do is Paul and I will just take turns asking quickfire questions, and we'll get Laura and Jordan to answer them.
Yeah, we should say that this should really be called the Tommy Tucker round, because he's submitted a butt ton of questions.
Tommy Tucker.
If you have any kind of political correctness concerns, maybe this is the point where you put down the podcast, because shit's about to get real.
No, I think we might have.
Yeah, we've probably already passed that already. But...
Yeah. So we'll start off. First question. What is the name of your partner's army or armies, if they have more than one? Laura, what army do I play? What's it called?
Chaos?
Chaos? That's your answer?
Yeah, I don't know what else it would be.
Okay, well, I feel like I should give you some recognition there, because I do have the Warhammer Fantasy Warriors of Chaos, so maybe that's what's throwing you. And it came from a game where that was the name of the army, so you're wrong, but it's a very
well
good
done
wrong
for
answer.
trying.
Oh, look at him trying to cushion that.
Yeah, so
It's a
there's...
shit sandwich.
Okay. Jordan?
Andrew, you play Empire of something, I don't know.
It's good enough.
Empire of... You just call it Empire. You shorten it to Empire. I'm playing Empire. And then you have Vampire...
Oh, you're so close.
I know I've heard this. I'm going to say Covenanters. Is it Covenant?
Oh, it's close.
Vampire
Covenant.
Vampire Covenant.
Yeah, I think you get the points.
Covenant?
Yeah.
Yes. Well done.
That is very good.
Jordan, you're really good at listening to your partner.
I think Covenanters, I think the Covenanters are vampires, but that's my own professional
That would actually be a
opinion.
really cool theme of a vampire
I think
army.
this is only because Covenanters come into your PhD all the time. I'm like, I'm sure I've heard something about this thing called Covenanters.
That's good though.
They're also affectionately known by the community as the vampire cunts as well.
Yeah.
Oh, I would remember that.
You're a vampire cunt if you play.
So you're playing a vampire
I'm a
cunts
cunt, yeah.
tonight. Are you proud of me?
I'm so proud of you right now, Jay. Okay, next one.
Okay, next question.
So the next one is, do you like your partner's choice of models, and what is your favourite miniature that your partner has painted? And do you know what it's called? Jordan.
Yes, I like your models. I didn't like painting the... I don't know,
the dude you painted.
the dude that I painted. What were they, soldiers?
They were historical stuff.
Historical
Yeah.
soldiers. Didn't like them. Like the Griffins. Your mum made cool seats for them out of modelling clay. They were really awesome. Love the
I
skeletons.
outsourced.
Love the skeletons. Got you a spray gun for the skeletons.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Spray gun.
What's it called?
Love it.
Air gun.
Airbrush.
Airbrush.
I didn't actually use that on the
No,
skeletons.
You didn't use it. Oh no, you're going to use it for the zombies, for the skin.
I was going to, but I didn't end up doing that.
So he's not even used it. Great. Excellent.
Oh.
I went on a course to...
I think I'll prefer the Griffins the best, and the
Do you like the
chickens.
cricket? Oh, do you like chickens? Yeah. Okay.
No, just because it's funny.
It is funny.
The skeletons are really cool though. I don't know, Griffins and skeletons.
Okay.
Don't know their real names.
Well, it's next to the Sun Griffin and Skeleton, so
Oh cool, so I've got skeletons.
I think you get points for that.
Yeah.
Laura?
Wouldn't be my choice of army, but yeah, they're pretty cool, and Francis is probably my favourite.
Yeah, Francis.
Yeah. Give it up for Francis.
Francis.
Francis is he was the old blood beast. He's now the Forsaken one or Fallen one or what the fuck he's called in the book. I don't even know what he's called, so it's fine. I'm not even going to ask you to know what he's called.
Oh!
Francis.
He's a big-
Hello.
Well, this is it, right? He's got a name. He's
Yeah, he
Francis.
calls him Francis.
Paul calls him Francis, or he is called
No,
Francis?
we all call him Francis, but he's not actually called Francis.
Oh, right. Oh, okay. Cool.
I also like that you took my advice on getting a dragon.
I did get a dragon.
Dragons are cool.
I have used it. He looks good. I'm happy with the paint job on
I
him.
don't have a dragon.
You've got chickens.
I've got chickens. Although I'm thinking about getting a zombie dragon.
The greatest flying beast. Actually, chickens don't even fly.
My big bird flies.
Big bird?
He does.
My big griffin.
Your griffin. Yeah, your griffins do
nice.
chicken.
So I've got the little ones that run around the ground because they don't have any wings. And then the big one that flies.
Chickens.
Cool. Next question.
If we can legitimately divide the hobby into 3 distinct categories, building and painting, playing and socialising / events, then which segments do you find most interesting and which parts do you find the least attractive? Laura, go.
Most interesting, building and painting. Least attractive? Probably the playing, just because it takes so long.
Okay.
Okay.
What about you, Jay?
I don't think there are 3 distinct categories. I think there needs to be more.
Oh, here we go.
So I think there should be, I don't know, what would we categorise it as? Wish listing and purchasing. I also think there needs to be planning.
Planning does take a long time.
Planning does take a long time. And then, so wish listing and purchasing, or sneaky purchasing, then building and painting, and then game planning and...
Game planning.
And organisation, and then...
Facebook Messenger should probably just be one of us.
That's coming in a minute. Socialising, events, and playing, and then, responding to fan mail.
Lol.
Yeah. What do I think is the most... I think the building and painting is the most exciting. Well, no, it's what I find the most interesting, but I know for you, the playing's obviously the most interesting, and then giving me really detailed commentaries of how it went down and how you got diced and how it was
God, you put the lingo down and everything.
It was a 19 what is it, 19-1 or a 20?
Scored out at 20.
No, it was a 20-0 and woo.
Yeah.
Is that what I sound like when I do it, yeah?
You do, and then you moan because the dice that I
the dice you bought me were shit.
Dice that I bought you and the dice that I was made to bless didn't work.
No, it didn't work.
And by blessing,
you're a shit witch.
mean, can we discuss what blessing means?
Yeah, go for it.
What did I do?
You put them down your bra, right? That's what we need. Yeah. That's how I blessed my dice.
So that's what we did with the dice.
Which didn't work. It tainted them.
This is really just an opportunity for Andrew to blame Jordan for any of his failings.
Yeah, so it's always the dice.
Laura, it doesn't matter, it's just Jordan, right? I am never wrong. I just, I weaponise my faults.
Yeah, it's always the dice and the dice
It's
is
always
me. So
the
it's
dice.
me, so it's always me.
It is always me. I'm just shit at the game, basically, is what we need to know.
You were on a wee winning streak recently.
I was, and then Nick fucking pasted me.
But yeah, that was a really long answer, but
Okay.
most interesting for me is building and painting.
Okay. Cool. So the next one is from lovely Casimir again. What strength value does your partner have? So as a little preface to this, so in the game you obviously get your army books, and each army has an entry, and each unit has stats. So you have like your movement, your initiative, your agility, how many attacks you have, what your strength is. Okay? So strength 10 is like being hit by God's cock. Strength 1 is like being pinched by a very small goblin. So Laura, what's Paul's?
It depends. Is Paul's army at a distance, or is Paul's army
No, it's
close up?
me.
It's
me.
Paul. It's Paul.
The question
What
is,
would Paul's stats
what value would I
What
have?
does Paul have?
If I was in the game, what strength value would I have? Would it be 10, God's cock, or small sneaky goblin?
That's the main question.
What do you mean it's a mean question?
Of course, it'd be a 10.
Yay! She said 10! Yay!
Jay, I need you to be honest.
I'm not asked her, to be honest.
I'd like to relabel the strength, so I'd like to say, so you're obviously a 10 in general, but level 10...
Oh, something bad's coming now.
Level 10 Sleepy Panda. No, this is because Andrew's always so sleepy.
So that has nothing to do with my strength, though.
So your strength would be like, it'd be like on Pokemon Snorlax.
So it'd be a Snorlax. That's fair.
Tornado, Snorlax is asleep. Fire blast, Snorlax is still asleep.
I like
7:30 in the morning and your girlfriend is leaving to go for work. You're still asleep.
Who the fuck gets up at 7:30 though?
I actually got up before that this morning. Before 7 this morning.
Okay, so what strength would you give me?
I don't know.
1 out of 10.
That's a bit arbitrary. A 10.
A 10. So we're both just going to talk out of our asses, right? Okay,
Yep.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine with this.
Decent 10 out of
The
10.
strength of God's cock in my hand. That doesn't sound bad at all. Moving on.
Okay, next question. How many hours a week do you think your partner spends thinking about the hobby?
Every 14 seconds.
That's probably
Oh, no, wait, I'm sure that's
probably worse than that.
It fights for dominance in my brain.
Oh, no.
How much time do you think?
That you spend thinking about the
Yeah.
game? A week.
Yeah.
So there's 168 hours
I
in a
would
week.
say 21 hours.
Okay.
Laura?
I don't know, because your job's not really all that. There's not a lot of thinking involved in what you do, so you probably spend a lot of time thinking about the hobby while you're at work.
God, man, low blow.
It's like they've seen our Facebook messages.
No, I've just heard the bloody pings.
Yeah, I think probably about 35, closer to 40.
Oh, wow.
Thinking about the hobby. Oh no, that's quite a lot. Call it
No,
30.
that's quarter of my time.
Yeah.
My conscious time.
Yeah,
Your
no, that
conscious time, yeah.
that sounds about right.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
I think it's more. I will agree with that.
Yeah.
How much time do you spend during your week thinking about us?
Oh, good question.
Oh, fuck.
That's not what the episode's about, okay?
Actually,
Get on
it is
here
what the
and hijack
episode's
our
about.
podcast.
I think about you
Don't ask
all the
questions.
time.
Thank you very
It is what
much.
the episode's about.
All the time. I don't, what is Ninth Age? I don't even know. I know what Jordan is, though. She's fucking amazing. There you go. See that hole? Just flew out of it.
Paul, is there anything you would like to say? You're being very quiet.
Do I read the next question, or is Andrew reading the next question?
I'll do it. I'll get you out of this one. So this is from Tim. How many times has your partner used the excuse he diced me to describe how his games went? Laura.
Paul never wins, so yeah. And it's always the dice.
I don't know. I think obviously I do lose a lot. I don't know if I always blame the dice though. I mean, I do blame the dice probably as much as everyone else. To be fair, my dice are fucking awful.
Paul's dice are fucking
But you've
awful.
told me that before, and then you've got new dice, and the
Andrew.
story's never changed.
Andrew, how good are my dice?
Your dice are fucking awful.
See?
Should
Thanks.
you not both use the same dice?
We've tried this.
That
We
would
had a
be-
game where we used the same dice,
Yeah, that
and your
would be
dice were still
a
bad.
more reliable measure, because you both have the same dice, so you couldn't say that, oh, your dice are trixied or
Worse.
whatever.
Yeah.
It would be more reliable. Then it depends on your rolling strategy,
Our rolling strategy.
or your throwing strategy, or your dicing strategy. I'm not
Well,
sure
this is
what
funny you
it's
say this, right? Because there's some guys that roll in
Let's
certain
see.
ways.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
would
think-
have an impact on how
Mm.
the dice lands, you would think.
Because Ed has a really purposeful way he rolls the dice. He shakes it really hard and then he just kind of goes, ah, and it kind of just falls out his hand.
There's this little kind of flick thing at the end.
Yeah, whereas Guillermo just fucking throws his dice at the table and hopes for the best.
Oh, you've got to protect your fucking models.
That's how you gotta do it, though. Paul, you have to stop the dice, and I'm like, no, man, you're totally ruining your luck there.
I don't think that. I don't see. You would have to do some pretty crazy maths to prove that was having any kind of effect on what was being rolled.
Yeah, that would be a long process.
There you go, Michael.
Yeah,
That's your
I don't
project.
think anyone
Get out,
here
sorry.
gives a shit that much to actually do that math.
Have you ever stopped anybody rolling a certain way because you think it's having an impact if they're doing something really stupid, I don't know, not stupid, but a bit dodgy?
No, I guess you could kind of just kind of flip the dice over in your hand and put it on the table, but I've never seen anyone do that.
Alex Thomas from who's actually coming up to play at Siege.
Uh-huh.
That's how he rolls his dice.
Really?
What,
Yeah,
you
just
kind of
he
flip
rolls
them?
them. He kind of shakes them in his hand and he just turns them over.
So he's giving them a shake.
Okay.
It doesn't seem. I mean, he had some pretty horrendous rolls. I'm not saying if he was getting 4-ups all the time, I would have been immediately suspicious. But yeah, I don't think it really matters. We talked about this. Henrik probably has the worst dice of anyone ever. And like he doesn't roll his dice
Zero
like
ones. Is that the right
Oh
thing to
yeah,
say?
honestly, the amount of ones this boy rolls is. But then, so like,
Statistically improbable.
like very,
Like,
so
really,
most of the
one,
game, like
one,
ones are bad,
one.
except from leadership tests.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to roll high for leadership tests. Henrik will consistently roll ones for 99% of the game, except for when he's taking leadership tests, and then he'll
When
only
you
roll
should
sixes.
roll a one.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Wow.
it's actually something to behold.
You couldn't get the other player to roll for you, or if you got to roll.
I don't even know if that would make a difference with Henrik.
Yeah, I know.
Mhm. Again, I think we've actually proposed this, that you should just try and get someone in to roll his dice for him.
I've got
Yeah.
a roller.
A roller.
It's like a golf caddy, but the roller for the dice.
I would
Not
never
a
inflict
caddy.
that upon you, because I would end up getting annoyed at you. When you
You
roll
would, I
shit.
know. yeah. You would just express all your anger onto me. I'm sorry.
Fucking roll better!
You're useless.
Okay.
Okay, so we both say that a lot.
Yeah.
So next question from Tommy. So this is specifically directed at me, or my missus. Do Chads only play warriors? Now, I'm not going to lie, we had to Google what that meant. That wasn't a term we were familiar with. However, upon reading the definition, it seems like I kind of know where he's coming from, but at the same time it doesn't make any sense because Chad actually specifically states within the definition that you have to be single, so therefore by asking someone's partner, are they R1, seems somewhat nonsensical.
I also don't know what a warrior, like, do Chads only play warriors? Is a warrior a type of thing in this game?
So,
Am I missing something here?
To recap one of the previous questions, which was, do you know the name of your partner's army? The name of my army is Warriors of the Dark Gods. So in this instance, warriors is an
Is your
abbreviation.
army? Okay.
Yeah, so that's what it means.
Okay, well, I wouldn't know.
Well, so basically we've established that the question doesn't actually make any sense.
Moving
So
on.
we can bypass that question.
Okay, so then my
And
question...
the answer is probably yes. Moving on.
So my question, also from Tommy, for Jordan, is... I think this is unfair because mine is actually the question. How do you put up with the incessant Empire fanboying from Andrew?
Love it.
You love it. You love it. You love a bit of the Empire though, don't you?
Have you even given Jordan Q card, Andrew?
Stop it. Rude.
I'm just saying, like, you love to hear about what the Empire is doing, what the Emperor is doing for his
Stop
people.
it. You're talking about your Willie.
What? I'm not talking about
You are.
What are you talking about?
You love to hear what he's doing, and no, I do
No,
not.
I'm not mentioning that at all.
You know,
No.
sorry.
Insight into that relationship.
Aww.
I'm definitely going to start calling him the Emperor now, though.
Better than no, I can't. Better than no,
Moving on.
I can't.
Right, so again,
I don't know.
question from Tommy. When the incel rebellion of oppressed proletariat rises up and seizes the means of our reproduction, will you be Stalin or Trotsky? So Jordan, you live with someone that studies history. You should be all over this question.
That's what I was gonna say.
God damn it. How did we get busted on radio?
I know, I'm sorry. Yeah, definitely Stalin.
We'll be Stalin.
Do you know who any of these people are?
No.
Okay, next question.
Laura, I don't know much either.
So this is perhaps the most important question we've asked all night. Is Edward Murdoch a part of the Illuminati? Laura.
No, because I'm gonna get like targeted by them.
Just yes.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Sorry, Ed.
Jordan, is Ed part of the Illuminati?
I don't know enough about him to make that judgment.
I'll make it for you, yes.
Okay.
See, Ed's the type of guy that wouldn't even, give a straight answer to that question, which instantly means yes.
But is he doing that just to get someone's backup?
No, it's fancy lawyer
Isn't he
talk.
a lawyer? Yeah, that
Oh.
makes sense.
Oh, okay.
Instantly suspicious. Right, the next question. Fuck
Sure
man,
is.
this is a mouthful, this
Oh,
one.
this is a big one.
Right, okay. So Tommy asks,
Oh.
so obviously it's from Tommy, because all of these are being from Tommy. Where do your respective men sit on the 0 to 10 Tommy Tucker contemptible masturbator scale, where 0 is a 14-year-old robo-horse contestant that has just watched his robot get smashed to pieces in certain firebursts? So kill a lot. Oh my God. In 10 is Arnold Schwarzenegger in Pumping Iron talking about banging Californian supermodels. I'm not even sure I understand the question, if I'm being honest.
Oh.
Well, I'm still laughing, Jay. You're gonna have to
Why
answer
does
this.
robot get killed by
So-
Kilo? Fuck. The top bit is the important bit, right? So
yeah,
he's trying to push you off target there. What are you googling?
Nothing.
Jay, this isn't a hard one. Why are you taking so long?
Where do your respective men? I don't know.
Where do your respective men sit on the 0 to 10 Tommy Tucker contemptible masturbator scale?
Have you tried to Google this entire question?
No. Laura, answer first.
10, that's fine.
Yeah. Is that good?
Did you say 9?
I don't think nine's good. I think
Nine's
nine.
9's not good. I was going to say 3.
The game's a bogey.
Why?
I think both are bad.
I think both are bad.
Both are very bad.
But in this
Zero
argument,
to
I would rather be
robot
Arnold
contestant
Schwarzenegger.
that has just watched his robot get smashed to pieces and set on fire, bursting around, and 10 is Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Would that make you want to masturbate? I don't think so.
Pumping Iron, talking about banging.
So Arnie's got to be the top one, right?
I think he's basically both calling us masturbators. I think the only argument here is how what kind of
How
masturbator?
rigorous you are.
That's
Right.
what I was thinking.
How rigorous we are. Oh boy.
Are we a 14-year-old who's just watched his robot get smashed to pieces by Sir Killalot, or are we Arnold Schwarzenegger?
I would
Are
like to
you
point out
angry?
that you both said that we were as strong as the cock of God, so
I'm taking your first answer. You said 10.
I said 3. I'm going to stick with that.
that's probably fair. Okay, and the final question.
Fucking hell! I've just read this for the first time.
No way.
Tell us how the Presbyterian guilt affects your lives.
Who's this Tommy Tucker guy?
He's our only listener.
He's your only fan. Don't anger him.
Oh.
So this is because I mentioned. This is actually funny because Fraz brought this up this week as well. So this is something I mentioned we were talking about in an episode before, where it was like the Presbyterian guilt. It's something I just kind of say sometimes.
You say.
Yeah, it's just because like, obviously where we're from, central Scotland is, you know, especially Falkirk is Presbyterian kind of heartland, and it's kind of just like their religious kind of, I don't know, dourness that infects.
I would say that's almost a Scottish stereotype, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I would agree.
Doerness.
Yeah. So how does it affect your life, Jeff?
Doesn't.
Do you want to talk about it?
No.
Okay. Laura.
Well, I'm a Roman Catholic, so.
Well, see, you've got no issues here.
Good question, guys.
There we go. It affects me a lot.
Does it?
No.
Do you want to talk? Do you want to talk about that?
You can talk to the Emperor about it later.
I'm the Emperor.
Okay. On that note, that's us.
Yeah.
So any last comments or questions,
Any
ladies?
thoughts?
Just, I think it's a lovely hobby, and I think all your friends from the hobby, the ones that I've met, the ones that I haven't met, are lovely, and I'm really sorry if I've offended anyone. I might have had 2-ish large gins poured by Andrew,
Here we go.
and I'm sorry.
So what you're saying is you've just been drugged
I'm tied to a
the last
chair
2
right
hours.
now.
That has nothing to do with
Nothing to do with the podcast. I'm tied to a chair anyway. For the Empire. For the Empire.
This is turning into a sex tape, and it's just weird, right? Stop it. Fuck. Laura, any sensible questions you want to raise?
Answer, do you mean?
No questions, I guess. Like, I think it is interesting to have done this, like, you know, it is a very interesting question, you know, why women aren't into this sort of thing, so, yeah, it's interesting. That's all, I guess. Yeah, the whiskey's taking it out of me as well. I've done that. I was like, yeah, man, it's cool.
Yeah, cool.
Awesome. Paul, any final thoughts before we wrap up?
I want to say this has been useful.
But are you lying?
No, I think it's good. Like, there's been a few other kind of channels and and people that put out kind of this kind of content that have kind of mentioned this kind of stuff in the past, and they've had their own episodes to talk about it, and it is a really difficult issue, like, to try and resolve. Like, I think just because it always just seems to come back to, like, personal preference, and the fact that it is so male dominated is out of itself an obstacle that can put off women, and there doesn't really seem to be any way around that without.
To resolve, do you mean the fact that women aren't playing the game or aren't engaging with the game, or?
Well, I've got to think that there are women that would like to, but for whatever reason they're not in a position to, or there's something that just puts them off. But if they're on their own and they're not within a group of like-minded individuals, then it's even more difficult, because then it's if you've got no outlet, if you don't even know who to approach or where clubs are, then how do you get yourself in a position where you can play? I think talking to other people, it seems to be a little bit more common abroad, like in Europe, that you do see the odd kind of women that are kind of more active in local clubs and things. And I don't know if that's a cultural thing or if it's just luck and it has nothing really to do. It just so happens that those women that were looking to get into the game have found an outlet that they are happy with, and it just suits them. I don't know. It's difficult. I mean, like we've said, like, we're obviously trying to grow the club, and it has grown over the last year or two. It would be great for it to keep going that way, and specifically from my perspective, it would be great if we did get the odd women that like to give it a go. I mean, we're quite ideally suited, like where the club is, and we've mentioned that girls do come in and they play other systems, but for whatever reason, the kind of mass rank and file fantasy game doesn't seem to be appealing to that demographic.
I wonder how much of it is to do with an era situation as well. Like, obviously, nowadays, gender equality is, a lot. Well, we're more gender equal nowadays than we ever were in the past, and I guess that's only going to get better in the future. I wonder if there would be an increase in women playing the game with that.
That's a good point. I guess, like, we've got the luxury as men of coming from a culture where men have always played the game, or games of a similar style.
Yeah.
Whereas women, that would have been something that would have been considered appropriate. So I guess it's like a kind of cultural thing and a historical thing where that will take longer. But it's interesting. Like, it would be great if it was a 50-50 split, but I have no idea how long that's going to take.
Yeah, I think that would take a bit. It would be interesting to look at the differences between, an online game of a similar system in comparison to a game where your gender's kind of explicit face to face.
That's a good point.
Of a similar game where you can be a character and you don't have to state.
Something like a Total War game where it's like mass ranked combat simulation essentially, but you don't.
Yeah,
explicitly
exactly.
show
So something
who you are.
similar, but there's no explicit need or to identify to a certain gender to see whether that has an impact. That would be when you would be able to explore kind of barriers and stuff. But it could be, a feasibility thing. People aren't available to go down to the club, or there's not as much of a pressure to feel, if you're not good enough that you're going to be judged because of your gender specifically, because it's unknown if you're over a platform, and obviously it's more anonymous and stuff like that. Yeah, there's lots of. It is interesting.
This sounds like a postdoc.
It really does sound like
Oh my goodness.
there could be a good wee project in here to get some funding.
I guess historically, even like video games, like 20 years ago, like the number of women that played video games would have been super low. And now, it's not unusual to talk to a girl that enjoys playing video games as much as a guy would.
Yeah, I love doing it.
I would say like it's got to be near enough 50-50, if not getting that way, right?
I'm
I would
excited
say
for
so.
Red Dead coming out.
I know, comes out tomorrow.
Comes out tomorrow. Yep, that'll be good fun.
That's our plans for tomorrow night, guys.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, all that's kind of left to do is to thank Laura and Jordan. That was good fun. Thanks for coming on and just for kind of being honest and talking shit with us.
I know.
This is all we do. Like, when we say,
this
like,
is it,
we're going to podcast, this is it.
I can say that you're on a lot longer with those guys than
Yeah, you are. Laura, do you get locked out of the room? Because I actually get locked out of the room and I've got to go downstairs.
Oh.
You don't get locked out.
I don't get locked out, but
You leave of your own volition.
I get told to bring in tea after about an hour.
Oh no, I'm not allowed entry.
They're still in there chatting.
No, I'm shut out of the room with a lock. You know,
It's just to stop people.
I can't even open the door.
I have been barricaded from entering before, like trying to open the door and there's like a chair behind it.
That wasn't podcast.
Yeah, he wasn't podcast. Oh well, we might as well end it as we started it.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, if you guys have any thoughts on that, especially if there's any ladies listening and you've got any thoughts about that, please do get in contact. You can send us questions and stuff on email, scottishviolence@gmail.com. You can get us on Twitter, Scottish Ninth Age. There's the Facebook group, which Ed manages, so that's just the Scottish Wildlands. If you type that in, it'll come up. And usual things, carrier pigeon. Paul and I are pretty easy to spot at events and things, so come up and have a chat with us.
Tall guys, very
tall
tall.
guys, hairy guys as well. We're both of those, Paul. So, until next guy. Jesus, I fucked up. God, there's been too much gin. Oh, I got so close. Until next time, guys. We'll catch you next time.
Take it easy, guys.
Fucked up again. See ya.